In the last session, right, so we started discussing about the Postgres database backups where so we have seen what are the different types of backups that are available, and also we have seen like what are all like the what is pg dump, what is pg dump all, and what is the difference between pg dump and pg dump all, what is the plain format, and we have also discussed about what is the formatted backup as well, right? So in today's class, and we have also explored a couple of options like how to take a backup of a database, how to take a backup of a schema, how to take a backup of a table, and we have seen like how to exclude a particular table from the schema, and how can we exclude a particular schema while taking the backup of a database, and all those things that we have discussed, right? So we are in today's class we are going to explore a couple more options using pg dump, right? So I have a pg dump. Okay, done. Okay, so now the thing that we am going to do is I have a edw database. Okay, if someone asks you to take backup of only structures, what does it mean by taking the backup of only structures? So someone asks you to take the backup of only ddl, then what is the option that we are going to use? The option that we are going to use is pg dump, and you need to use a option called hyphen s. Hyphen s refers to structures only, so which is going to take the backup of only ddls. Okay, which is going to take the backup of only what? Ddls. So let me try to start 192.168.29.125. Let me open one more session as well. So how to check whether the Postgres cluster is running or not? So ps-eaf grep postgres. Is it running? No. So how can we start? pgctl-d slash u02 postgres data directory start. Okay, server started. So PSQL. So let me connect to the EDW database. So meanwhile, let me open one more session also. Mhm. 1 minute. Alright. Yeah. Okay. So now what I'm trying to do, how can we check the list of schemas that are available in a particular database slash dn? So I have a edw underscore app schema, I have edw underscore l schema, and I have a public schema, right? So now what I'm trying to do, right? My requirement is I wanted to take a backup of a edw database, but while taking the backup, I need to take only what? I need to take only structures. So how can we do? So pg underscore dump hyphen u postgres hyphen h is a localhost 127.0.0.1 hyphen p5432 and hyphen d. So I want to take the backup of edw database. So and I wanted to take only what? I wanted to take only structures, which means a ddl. So I'm using hyphen s, hyphen v is for verbose, and hyphen f is to take the backups. Okay, so edw underscore ddl dot sql. So if you see, the create schema statement is dumped, and creating table statement is dumped, and ACL is dumped. What does it mean by ACL? ACL is nothing but an access control list which talks about the privileges of a objects. But do you see any statement for dumping of data? No. Why you are not seeing any statement for dumping of data? You don't see the statements for dumping of the data because there is no data dump statement, which means we let the pg dump to take the backup of only structures by passing hyphen s option. So the moment you pass hyphen s option, it will try to it will try to take the backup of only ddls. So let me try to open the backup file which we have taken and see what are the things that got backed up. So what is the backup file name? edw underscore ddl dot sql. So when you open this file, see, create schema statement is there, and changing the ownership statement is there, create schema statement is there, create table statements are there. Do you see any statements for dumping of data? No. That's how hyphen s option will be used to take the backup of only structures. So how can we restore that? We will be discussing it in a separate topic during the restoration. Okay, the next option that we are going to explore is I have a edw database. I have a EDW database now, and I have already taken the structures. Now I wanted to take only data. I want to take only data. Then you need to use an option called hyphen A. So hyphen A is an option which is used to take the backups in, which is used to take the backup of only data. So let me try to take a backup of a data only. So we call it as a data only backup. So pg underscore dump hyphen u postgres hyphen h 127.0.0.1 hyphen p 5432 hyphen d edw hyphen a, which is like data only, and hyphen v is for verbose hyphen f slash u02 backups edw underscore data dot sql. If you see, do you see any statements for dumping of ddls, create schema statements or create table statements? No, you are seeing is processing data. So why it is dumping the data for, why it is only dumping the data? Because we have passed an option a. So whenever you pass an option hyphen a, then it will take the backup of only what? It will take the backup of only data. So if you see, so the data is being backed up. See, so and one more thing that you need to remember is whenever you take the backup using pgdump, by default data will be dumped in the form of which statements? Copy statements. See, copy edw training from stdi, and this is for backup test. Likewise it has taken. So, from the point that you need to remember here is whenever you take a backup using pg underscore dump, by default it will take the backup in the form of copy statements. But if you want to take in the form of insert statements, insert into table name values, likewise if you wanted to take, then what you need to pass, that you need to pass an extra attribute called hyphen column inserts column inserts. So what is this? When you pass this column inserts, it is going to dump the data in the form of series of insert statements. Let me show you that practically. Okay, so now what is the command? pg underscore dump hyphen u postgres hyphen h 127.0.0.1 hyphen p 5432 hyphen d edw. I want to take the backup of only data, so I'm passing hyphen a, and I wanted to take the backup in the form of insert statement. So hyphen column inserts hyphen v is for turbos hyphen f slash u02 slash backup slash edw underscore data underscore insert dot sql. Okay, this is how you need to take. So pgdump hyphen u hyphen h hyphen p hyphen d, and hyphen a is for taking the backup of only data, and hyphen column inserts, it will take the backup in the form of insert statements, and hyphen v is for verbose, and hyphen f is a file name. When you do this, if you see, it is taking the only data, and let me go and open the backup file. Okay, let me go and open the backup file. So vi edw underscore data underscore inserts dot sql. See how it got inserted? It got dumped in the form of insert statement, insert into table name values, and like this it got inserted. Okay, so this is the option. So hyphen s is used to take the backup of only ddls, and hyphen a is used to take the backup of only data. And when you pass hyphen column inserts, then like, then what happens? Then it will take the backup of data in the form of a insert statements. So the next point that we need to discuss is, let's say I have a edw database. Okay, I have a edw database. When I take the backup of a edw database, what are the things that are getting backed up? All the schemas will get backed up, and all the objects will get backed up. So after creating a schema, you are seeing a statement for changing the ownership like alter table table name owner owner name. Likewise it is there, right? Alter table name owner name. Let me show you that. Okay, so let me open any one of the file edw underscore ddl.sql. See, after each and every table, create table statement or create schema statement, there is a statement for dumping of the ownership. Okay, if you don't want to dump the statements for changing the ownership, okay, if you don't want to dump the statements for changing the ownership, then you need to pass hyphen capital O. Hyphen capital O is used to dump the statements for changing the or it will not dump the statements for changing the ownership. So when there is no statements for dump, when there is no statements for changing the ownership, then the person whoever executes this restore will be the owner of the tables. Okay, the point that you need to remember here is when there are no statements for changing, okay, when there are no statements for changing up of ownership, then the while restoring, the person whoever executes the restore command will be the owner of the objects. So that in detail we will be seeing during the restoration procedure. So now let me try to take the backup again. So again I am trying to take the backup of only ddl. Before doing that, just I'm removing all the files which are there in the backup location. Just I removed it. Okay, pgdump hyphen u postgres hyphen h 127.0.0.1 hyphen p 5432 hyphen d edw hyphen s. Then it will take only structures and hyphen capital O. It will not dump the statements for changing up of the ownership. Then hyphen v is for verbose hyphen f slash u02 backup slash, okay, slash u02 slash backup slash, like edw underscore ddl underscore no owner. The file name can be anything. Okay, .sql. So I have taken the backup. Now let me go and check what are the things that got backed up. If you see there is a create schema statement, do you see any statement for changing the ownership? No, because as we have passed hyphen capital O, it excludes the dumping of statements. So likewise, create table statement is there. Do you see any statement for dumping, changing the ownership? No. Okay. And the last, if you see, the statements are dumped for the ACL. What does it mean by ACL? ACL is an access control list, which we talk about the privileges. If you want to exclude the privileges while taking the backup, okay, if you want to exclude the privileges while taking the backup, then you need to pass an option called hyphen x. Hyphen x will exclude the statements for dumping up of the will avoid this. I'm sorry. So we'll exclude the privileges while taking the any particular backup. So how can we do that? Right? So pgdump hyphen u hyphen h hyphen p hyphen d hyphen s, and just I'm trying to pass hyphen x. Okay, and no acl.sql. So say if you see create schema statement is dumped, creating table statement is dumped, but do you see any statement for dumping up of the ACL? No. Why? Because we have passed an attribute called hyphen x. That is the reason why it did not pass anything. Sorry, it did not dump anything related to the privileges. Okay. So what are the privileges? So what are the things that we have discussed so far? So the things that we have discussed so far is pg underscore dump, and pg underscore dump by default will take the backups in which format? Pg underscore dump will take the backups in a plain format. So if you want to take the backups in a formatted way, then we need to follow some certain procedure that we will be discussing from the tomorrow. So pg dump, so hyphen D will use to take the backup of a database, hyphen N is used to take the backup of a schema, hyphen T is used to take the backup of a table, and hyphen capital N exclude schema, hyphen capital T exclude particular table. Okay, exclude particular table, hyphen F backup location, hyphen V verbose, and hyphen yes taking the backup of only structures, and hyphen a taking the backup of only data, and hyphen o exclude statements for dumping up of the ownership commands, and hyphen small x is used to exclude the statements for ACL, and hyphen column hyphen inserts. So by default, pgdump will dump the data in the form of copy statements, right? Pgdump will dump the data in the form of copy statements. So when you pass hyphen column hyphen inserts, so it will dump the data in the form of inserts, like insert into table name values. So these are the couple of options that are available to take the backup using pgdump, and there are two other more options is there. So before explaining about those options, I'm trying to explain something, a scenario, like okay, I have a production database, okay, which is like edw, and it contains two schemas like edw underscore app and edw underscore fin. So I have a QA database. The database name is edw underscore nprod, which means non-prod, which contains two schemas. One is edw underscore app, and second one is edw underscore fin again. Okay, so these are the developments in the I have a production, I have a QA. When you get a request, okay, you got a request stating that take the backup of a edw underscore app schema from the production and restore it onto the QA. Okay, restore it onto the QA edw underscore app. So what is the approach that you will follow? First you will take the backup of a edw underscore app database, right? So backup of EDW underscore app database. When you try to directly restore it into the EDW underscore app schema on the QA side, okay, what will happen? You will get an error stating table already exists, schema already exists, because whatever the EDW app that you are trying to restore, that schema is already there and it might contains couple of tables, right? Let's say in the production I have a t1 table which contains three rows, 1 comma 2 comma 3, sorry, three columns, 1 comma 2 comma 3 in, okay, but in the non-prod I have a t1 table with 1 comma 2 comma 1 2 columns only. So when you try to restore, though you have taken the backup of your production and trying to restore it onto the target, so but the table will not be replaced. Why this table will not be replaced? Because so when the moment it will try to create the table t1 on the edw underscore app schema, it will throw an error stating t1 table already exists, right? To avoid such scenarios, okay, what we will do? First we will take the backup. In the second step, on the non-prod, we will drop the edw underscore app schema. On the non-prod, we will drop edw underscore app, edw underscore app schema. On the non-prod side, what we will do? We will drop edw underscore app schema. Once that is done, okay, once that is done, then we will try to restore. Then that will, so first we'll take a backup, we'll drop the schema from the target side and we'll restore. So to avoid this manual dropping, okay, to avoid this manual dropping, pgdump comes up with an option called hyphen c. Okay, pgdump comes up with an option called hyphen small c. Hyphen small c refers to cleanup of objects. Hyphen C refers to what? Cleaning up of object. Hyphen C refers to cleaning up of objects. So when you pass hyphen C, it along with the backup, it will try to dump the statements for. It will try to what? Dump the statements for. Dump the statements for cleaning up of object. What it will do? It will dump the statements for cleaning up of an object. So we'll try to see with an example. Okay. So now I wanted to take the backup of a edw underscore app schema. How can I take pg underscore dump hyphen u postgres hyphen h 127.0.0.1 hyphen p 5432 hyphen d edw, and I want to take the backup of edw underscore app schema, and hyphen v is for verbose, and hyphen what I'm trying to do, hyphen small c and hyphen f slash u02 backups edw underscore app underscore schema dot sql. Observe it, the output carefully. So what it is trying to do, first it is trying to drop a table. Okay, sorry, did I pass hyphen n? Okay, I pass hyphen n. One minute. Yes, yes, yes. If you see output, first what it is trying to do, it is trying to drop the training table and test table, then it is dropping the schema, because can we drop the schema which is contain some objects? No. So we have, so first it is trying to drop the all the tables that are available in the ADW underscore app schema, then it is trying to create the schema and creating the table, dumping the statement. So on the target side, so though there is no need of manually dropping the schema, so as we have passed hyphen small c option, the tables and schema will be dropped and recreated automatically. So we'll get more clarity during this, like when we try to do this, like eh, during the restore, you will get more clarity. Okay, so what hyphen small c will do, hyphen small c will dump the statements for cleaning up of objects. Let me open the backup file so that you will get more clarity. Okay, so vi edw underscore app underscore schema dot sql. See, one minute. Yeah. First, what it is trying to do, it is trying to drop a EW underscore app dot training table. Then second, it is trying to drop a EW underscore app dot test table. Then it is dropping the schema. Then it is creating a schema and creating the tables and dumping the data. This is how hyphen small c option will be used. Okay, this is how hyphen small c option will be used. Hyphen small c option is used to dump the statements for cleaning up of objects. Let's say, so during this we are going to discuss one more scenario where, like we are going to discuss one more scenario like where I have, okay, so I have a edw underscore app schema which contains t1 comma t2 two tables. So on the target side I have a edw underscore app schema, edw underscore app schema which contains t1 comma t2 comma t3, and when you pass hyphen small c while taking the backup, pg dump will what it will do, but it will try to dump the statements of cleaning up of t1 and t2. It will not touch t3 because t3 table is not there on the source side where we are trying to take the backup. So from this, the point that you need to remember is whatever the objects that are there in the source side, while taking the backup it will try to dump the statements for cleaning up of those objects only. Okay, that's it. Okay, next, the one more option that we are going to discuss is hyphen capital C. The one more option that we are going to discuss is hyphen capital C. What hyphen capital C will do? When you pass hyphen capital C while taking the backup of, okay, when you pass hyphen capital C while taking the backup of a database, it will dump the statements for create database. It will dump the statements for create database. For now, just remember about these options. While restoring, you will get a more clarity. Okay, so hyphen capital C, when you take a backup using hyphen capital C, it will dump the statements for create database plus commands for connecting to the database as well. Command for connecting to database as well. Command to connecting to the command to connect to the database as well. So let me take the backup using hyphen capital C. So now what I'll do, right, while taking the backup, pg underscore dump hyphen u postgres hyphen h hyphen p, just I'll take the backup of only database and I will pass hyphen capital C, and the file name is create.sql. See, if you see the creating a database, the create database statement is dump, and it will try to dump the statements for connecting to the database, then it will try to dump the statements for rest of the things. So let me open the backup file and see what is there. Vi space create.sql. If you see create database name. Okay, create database cdw with template 0, and this is created now. Then it is trying to change the ownership, then it is connecting to the database, and it will dump the statements. While restoring, you will get more clarity. So with this, so we have completed the option exploring the options related to pc dump. So we have seen how to take that to only in a plain format. Whatever the options that we have discussed so far, those things again we will be discussing during the restore. From tomorrow onwards, I'm going to explain you about the how we can restore when with the backups whatever we have taken, and we are also going to see formatted backups as well. I will be taking two more classes for the backups only. So in the next 2 or 3 classes from today, because like though, so we are going to explore each and every option in a plain format, so that it will be very easy for you to understand in the formatted backup as well. Why I am concentrating more on the plain backups is, so in the plain backups we have a feasibility of opening the backup file and read the content, so we can understand what things will get backed up when you take the backup of database, and what things will get backed up when you take the backup of a schema and all. Okay, so that's it for today, and we'll connect tomorrow again, and we'll try to start the restoring concepts. Okay, so any doubts so far? Any doubts? Okay, if not, just we'll wind up for today. So why I'm taking only half an hour, right? So I don't want it to mess up everything in a single day. Let the classes be extended for more time. But yeah, these backups and recovery concepts are very important, where you need to pay more attention. That is the reason why slowly I'm explaining the things. Okay. So I'll be uploading this video by today. Yeah. Thank you.